A very good afternoon and welcome to BeeTv News at 3. I am Evelyn Izibili and now to the news in details. In a remarkable show of commitment to educational development, American-based medical practitioner and coordinator general of the ASA for ASAN Global Support League, Dr. Elizabeth Okorua Okoje, fondly known as Dr. Ojugo, has distributed hundreds of notebooks to all public primary schools across ASA Central local government area of Edo State. The distribution exercise, which covered every public primary school within the local government, is part of Dr. Ojugo's ongoing efforts to promote quality education.
Despite limited resources, assuring them of continued support from the ASAN for ASAN Global Support League in future educational programs.
What shall we say to the Lord? All we have to say is thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. All I have to say is thank you, Lord.
Community leaders, head teachers and parents present at the various distribution points expressed profound gratitude to Dr. Ojugo for a benevolent gesture, describing it as timely and impactful. They noted that our intervention has not only eased the body on parents.
His Royal Highness Alhaji Bako Dogo says he remains the Edo State Chairman of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria and that the national leadership of the association has no power to remove him as AFAN is guided by Constitution. BeeTv News Freeman Osawe reports that the briefing had in attendance local government coordinators and some members of the association.
In a swift response to his alleged removal as the chairman of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria Edo State Chapter, His Royal Highness Alhaji Bako Dogo said his removal was illegal as it was orchestrated by some individuals who are driven by personal greed, stating that AFAN as an association is guided by Constitution and that the national leadership has no rights to expel a chairman of the state, which according to him can only be done by the executive of the state association.
AFAN is guided by Constitution, just the way Nigeria is guided by Constitution. The Constitution of AFAN says, if any member is found wanting, the state NEC will form a committee, and that committee will return, that is Article 18(2)(2), in return right to the leadership of His Royal Highness Alhaji Bako JP as the only authentic and reliable chairman we know in Edo State. So on that note, we are pledging our support again and again. We are saying there is no two AFAN. We only have one AFAN in Edo State. His Royal Highness Bako Ibirede Dogo is our chairman, and we have passed a vote of confidence on him.
The legal advisor to Alhaji Bako, Barrister Steve Onokpachere, said there is nowhere in AFAN Constitution where someone is expelled without due process, saying that his client, Alhaji Bako Dogo, remains the authentic chairman of All Farmers Association of Nigeria Edo State until the court says otherwise.
And the provisions of this constitution is binding on all members of the said association, including the national president, state chairman, federal executive, state executive, local government executives, as the case may be. Now, any action, whether by the president of AFAN or members of the federal executive, of AFAN, that is contrary, at variance with the provision of AFAN Constitution, is null and void. Also, the provision of Section 36 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended, which is the ground norm of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and superior to every other law or statute or acts, including the provisions of AFAN Constitution.
Increasing rates of roadside trading along Adolo Road in Benin City has continued to attract public concern as residents and commuters express concern. Timitokwe has details.
During a visit to the Adolo Road, it was observed that traders occupy large portions of the roadside, displaying goods ranging from food items to household materials, thereby obstructing the free flow of traffic and endangering both motorists and pedestrians. Speaking with BeeTv News, some respondents expressed worry over the unsafe nature of roadside trading, describing it as a serious risk to human life. They lamented that traders often dispose of refuge indiscriminately into nearby drains, leading to frequent blockages and flooding during rainfall.
Sometimes a lot of trailers has fallen down on this side of the junction. So when there is a lot of trailer falling down, and my God has been helping us. All those tragedies that occur here comes in the middle of the night. So when it happened in the middle of the night, people, maybe everybody has gone home. That's where we are saving. But if it happened on the daytime, you see, we are going to have a lot of tragedy. A suggestion is that they will come, the government
advise government to do, let government just look for a market, a place to build a market for them to stay. That's all.
Other respondents attributed the rise in roadside trading to the harsh economic situation in the country and the high cost of renting stores. According to them, many small-scale traders have no option but to sell their goods by the road in order to make ends meet.
Most people to find a way of survival, that's just the truth. It's not a good thing, actually. If things were normal, it's not right. But I feel at times government gives them that breathing space to survive. That's just the truth. And shops are very expensive now. You have to have hundreds of thousands to rent store before you talk about buying goods into the store. So these people have to survive one way or the other. We have a harsh economy now. That's just the truth.
Residents are calling on relevant authorities to enforce proper regulations to ensure safety and cleanliness in the area, while also providing affordable market spaces to accommodate small traders.
The level of noise pollution in Benin City has become a major concern, ranging from loud music on the streets and blaring vehicle horns in traffic to other forms of uncontrolled noise that have disrupted the peace and well-being of residents. Speaking on this situation, some respondents expressed concern over the rising level of noise pollution, noting that constant exposure to excessive noise can lead to ear-related health problems, including severe headaches and long-term hearing issues. They called on the government to establish effective monitoring and enforcement measures to control noise levels within residential areas. The respondents also appealed to residents to exercise self-discipline and consideration for others, emphasizing that uncontrolled.
Following the recent announcement by the Edo State Governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, making the teaching and learning of the Edo language compulsory in all schools across the state, residents have continued to commend the new development. BeeTv News reports that the new directive aims to preserve the state's rich cultural heritage and promotes indigenous language learning among children in both primary and secondary schools.
We talk about the language. Charity begins at home. And when we are together like this, we should be speaking our language. And we'll see how we can, I'll talk to them, how we can introduce vernacular into our school system.
Recently, Governor Monday Okpebholo announced the reintroduction of the teaching of Edo languages in all schools across Edo State, noting that every tribe should learn and speak its language to prevent any from going into extinction. Residents who spoke with BeeTv News described the policy as a welcome development, noting that it will help promote cultural identity and prevent the Edo language from going extinct. They commended the government's efforts to reintroduce local language learning in schools, saying it will help younger generations understand and appreciate their roots.
It's a thing that's supposed to be practiced, in the state or place you are, that language should be taught.
I believe it's a welcome development since the governor said the historic language, Edo, should be taught in schools. I just feel history has been eroded for some time.
It's a welcome development because if you look at every other state, they have their own language as a subject. So Edo State will not be different from them. It's a welcome.
The Omieko project. That's a comprehensive blueprint for a sustainable, connected, and a future-oriented water transportation system. Speaking at the event, Governor Sanwo-Olu emphasized that the project represents Lagos' vision to lead the continent in developing a modern water transportation network. BeeTv News' Zainab Mohammed reports.
Water transportation plays a vital role in Lagos State, serving as a key mode of commuting and commerce, connecting waterfront communities and driving economic growth. At the unveiling of the Omieko initiative, Governor Sanwo-Olu highlighted that projects will ease traffic congestions, reduce carbon emissions, and open up new economic opportunities across waterfront communities in the state.
For centuries, water has defined the rhythm of Lagos, from the bustling trails of our ancestors to the ferries that guide access on our lagoon today. I told my friends, visitors, that Lagos colony had been in existence before the amalgamation of Nigeria in 1914, and that colony was crisscrossed by water, by creeks. Our story has always been written on the water.
Former Minister of Work and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, applauded the resilient spirit of Governor Sanwo-Olu and his team, urging them to complement the project with connectivity links to the rail and road transport system.
I must thank the governor who, along with me, about 20-something years ago, were starry-eyed young men being mentored by another governor who is now president today. He entrusted us, and this is the story of our journey. Of course, Lagos has been busy lately on the waters, from the E1 to Omieko, and who knows what next. Kudos to the government led by Governor Sanwo-Olu and the entire team. Very well done.
Lagos State Commissioner for Transportation, Mr. Oluwaseun, noted that the initiative aims to significantly cut travel times and offer Lagosians a reliable and environmental-friendly commuting alternative.
Under the guidance of our governor, Lagos has pursued this vision through deliberate long-term planning.
The Executive Chairman of Edo State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Honorable Omozeni Ebanehita Sonia, has described Governor Monday Okwebelo's directive mandating the teaching of indigenous languages in schools across the state as a bold step toward cultural revival and reintegration. Honorable Omozeni Sonia stated this while briefing journalists on Senator Monday Okwebelo's announcement of the reintroduction of Edo languages into the school curriculum across the state. BeeTv News Temitope Oluwafemi bring more details.
Speaking with journalists in Benin City, the executive chairman of Edo State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Honorable Omonzene Ebanehita Sonia, said the governor's policy on the reintroduction of Edo language into the school curriculum across Edo State reflects a deep understanding of the need to preserve Edo's fast-fading linguistic heritage. She noted that the reintroduction of local languages into the curriculum will help reconnect young learners with their cultural identity. According to her, the initiative represents a welcome development and an effective way to expose Edo children to their roots. She added that the teaching of indigenous languages will reinforce the values, pride, and historical consciousness that have long defined Edo's cultural landscape. She further noted that the policy will strengthen cultural continuity, ensure linguistics preservation, and foster a renewed sense of identity among pupils.
His Excellency, I also saw that he make it compulsory that all our teachers should start supporting teachers to achieve result. My question is, has these people not been supportive since? Does that mean that the education system have not achieved the result? Well, let me come back to the board. Now, I'll take you to when it comes to real governance. That's where His Excellency comes in. So when I assumed the office, I discovered these people, and I have to relate it to His Excellency, the Executive Governor, a man who really cares for the children.
The Niger State government has signed a $100 billion livestock production agreement with the Saudi government. Governor Umar Bago made this known while delivering a lecture at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Lagos as the world marks World Food Day. BeeTv News Zainab Mohammed reports.
The Nigerian Institute of International Affairs hosting discussions that often shape the nation's foreign policies. But this time, the focus is on agriculture and food security. Guest lecturer and governor of Niger State, Umar Bago, says agriculture has become a key issue in global diplomacy, warning that future conflicts may be driven by the struggle for food and resources. Governor Bago also revealed that Niger State has entered into a $100 million agreement with the Saudi government to boost livestock production, a move he says will strengthen food security and reduce insecurity.
If you are able to transition women, imagine getting 1 million women across Nigeria, give them a special breed of ram or sheep, give them the feed, train them, and offtake from them. Each of them at harvest will earn 10 million naira.
The Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered that a status quo be maintained in a suit filed by the President of the National Youth Council of Nigeria challenging the registration of the council by the Corporate Affairs Commission. Ruling on an expert's application, Justice Wanko directed the Registrar General of the CAC, the Minister of Youth Development, and the Ministry of Youth to be put on notice. All parties must maintain the status quo, and the case has been adjourned until the 28th of this month. The Corporate Affairs Commission, via the Ministry of Youth Development, announced the registration of the 7th of October. President of the NYCN, Sukubo Saraigbe, has challenged the decision in court. In times when mental health struggles are frequently downplayed or shrouded in stigma, experts are calling for increased awareness, empathy, and collective actions to tackle what many now describe as a growing crisis. As a mental health and well-being colloquium held in Lagos, stakeholders stressed the urgent need to break the silence around mental health and foster open conversations that encourage healing, understanding, and support. The speakers noted that mental health conditions are treatable and should be regarded like any other medical issues, stressing the importance of early intervention and access to care. Participants also highlighted the need for regular mental health checks, emotional balance, and community support systems that allow for resilience and inclusion.
Also die in silence. I will say that yes, we are saying let's shine a light. There's no need for you to call it be. People are putting a lot of stigma to some more people that are having this mental.
It's quite important to control or to manage mental health, because mental health, as we've known from the past conversations we've had, it has to do with being able to manage your emotions, your feelings, so that you can also contribute to the society and community.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, in Nasarawa State has achieved a significant breakthrough with the arrest of 2 suspected members of a notorious kidnapping syndicate operating in Lafia and its surrounding areas. The state commandant of the NSCDC made this known while parading the suspects at the Corps headquarters in Lafia, the Nasarawa State capital.
These suspects are members of a 5-man notorious kidnapping syndicate terrorizing Lafia and its surrounding communities. They are allegedly responsible for the adoption of several high-profile individuals within the Lafia metropolis. Their criminal activities came to an end when operatives of the NDC received intelligence on their hideout in Buka area of Lafia. Officers of the Corps swiftly raided the location, neutralized 2 members of the syndicate, arrested 2 others, while 1 escaped, remained at large.
Acting on the directive of the Amiable Commandant General of Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Professor Ahmed Abubakar Audi, MNI, OFR, who gave me a marching order to combat this ugly menace. I immediately...
Initiative, an international NGO partner with the UN, is advocating for increased global support for widows and women in conflict zones. At the 2025 UN Peace Week in Geneva, the group led by Professor Olufolake Abdurazak called for widows to be included at the center of peace building and recovery policies, emphasizing that vital role in post-conflict societies. Professor Olufolake Abdurazak reaffirmed the Water Light Safe Initiative commitment to its HEAL framework as a strategic pathway to sustainable peace and development. The organization also announced its upcoming Widows for Hope program, which will offer trauma healing education, access to clean water, and livelihood support for women in Nigeria, Sudan, Gaza, and other conflict-affected regions. The U.S. military attack on a suspected drug smuggling vessel in Venezuela has left 2 survivors who are reportedly being held abroad by a Navy ship in the Caribbean. The strike, confirmed by President Donald Trump in part of the intensified U.S. campaign against alleged narcotics operation linked to Venezuela.
A U.S. military strike on a vessel alleged transporting drugs from Venezuela has left 2 survivors who were reportedly being held aboard a Navy ship in the Caribbean. The attack, which occurred on Thursday, is the 6th strike in recent weeks and the first to produce survivors. President Donald Trump confirmed the strike, calling the vessel a drug-hauling submarine and defending the operations as part of efforts to curb narcotics trafficking.
Carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs, just so you understand. This was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to around with the United States.
U.S. officials say the survivors were rescued by a helicopter after the vessel was destroyed, though the government has not officially confirmed the detention. Human rights experts have condemned. Faithful Kolawole reporting for BeeTv News.
Moving on to the entertainment news for today, Seyi Tinubu has denied claims by Nollywood actress Sarah Martins that he donated 20 million to her foundation. He clarified that while some of his friends raised funds to support a woman penalized by Lagos officials, he did not contribute personally. He stressed the need to balance compassion with respect for state laws. Also, singer Omale has reflected on his emotional struggles and past toxic relationships in a candid social media post. The report. Seyi Tinubu, son of President Bola Tinubu, has denied making a 20 million naira donation to Nollywood actress Sarah Martins' Golden Heart Foundation. The clarification followed Martins' claims that Seyi contributed the funds to support her charity after an incident involving Lagos Environmental Sanitation Corps officials. In a statement shared via his Instagram story, Seyi acknowledged that some of his friends had raised funds to help the woman affected by the enforcement action, but clarified that he did not personally contribute. He stressed that while their efforts were well-intentioned, he does not support action that violate Lagos state laws. He added that empathy should align with respect for law and order. Sarah Martins had earlier alleged that she was harassed while